This game we were once again without Felix in the first quarter. Good job running the play that I designed for you. All right, again, very good move to get by Grayson, but you got to give it up to Beans. And Beans, I thought you did a great job tracking back defensively. For some reason, you did a very good job against Grayson. And Beans, you're doing a good job moving upfield. Once you saw Dempsey had it, that was probably out of bounds. They let that go. But again, you've got people on you. It's give up the ball, not try to force a shot through somebody. That's your big limiter right now, that you're not looking to make plays. Now, truthfully, I don't know the right play here. This is just tough with your midfield being that far back. I mean, it's perfect that he bounced it back to you. You probably want to aim more towards his feet on that one. But that's tough. That's still a good shot. Now, Buckingham did not bring a bunch of their U14s this time. I don't know if they're limited. But yeah, Beansy, that's perfect. See this aggression? That's one of their big players. That's 3 times you've stopped him. And then you've got the 3 of them trapped by yourself. Now, I don't know why nobody else is helping you. But such is life. Again, he's going to pursue you. You got to get that over to Beans. I really like that move there. Faking like you're turning around and then coming back. And you earned yourself a corner kick here. Now the play, you could do it this, Beansy, where you show short and you tap it back to Dempsey. But you probably want to be far side. And this guy's tracking you, and that's fine. Just don't play his game now. Just stay there and wait for the shot. Dempsey probably should have already done it. See, Beans, you got to come to the ball there. Now, this is already bad news. I mean, our whole defensive line just offered no resistance. Your job as a defensive player is just to slow them down, not to poke away the ball. This is taking way too long. Yeah, now this is a lesson for, I mean, why? Caspian's got to not wear the same socks as Beans.
Or those Caspian, Catalina.
I can tell you did.
Like, why does Catalina drill the ball so weird?
Now, I thought you did a good job finding Beansy in this first quarter, and then you kind of tuned her out after. Beans, you don't need to get back. Although you did good work on Grayson, so I won't complain. And by you doing that, it allowed Dempsey to get a bit of a head start on him. My kids seem to hit the post so much. And truthfully, it's a good thing to hit the post. That means you're aiming for the angled shot, and you're just barely missing it. What I don't like is just kicking it towards the goalie. I'd rather hit a post than hit a goalie. Now again, Beans, you can't be a statue, okay? You see how Grayson was kind of guarding you? So okay, now you're good. So don't walk towards him. Just stay back. The ball can trickle through. Yeah. Okay. I love this, how you're pursuing him. Good job of Lucy for slowing him down. And then that allowed backup to get there. Oh, they called out of bounds. I don't know what they called. All right, perfect. You see how you rushed this shot? Beansy's running, and you hit her in stride, I mean, that was very good. And if you notice, Grayson doesn't pursue Beansy much.
He almost gets a goal for this.
Well, I think he just assumes that his teammates are gonna stop her, and then they kind of don't. Now, I think that was probably a poor call. I didn't really think you got fouled there.
handballed the ball.
Well, they didn't call a handball on you and then give Dempsey a kick. They called a foul on them. I think you just lost your footing. But you got to kick this as soon as they blow the whistle. And I guess if you need more time to compose your thoughts.
She doesn't even blow the whistle and she says, you can kick it whenever you want.
Well, when she says that, see how you waited so long, now they've got that wall? You try to get too cute here. Just upper corner. That's all you got to do.
This is just bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was low and it was off target. And that's unlike you. And it just seemed like you had a bad game today as far as controlling the ball. Now, your passes, I thought, were incredible. You know, they were pinpoint, especially ones where you had, I don't want to call it a through ball, but kind of a leading pass where you put it up in front of your teammates. And see how Beansy's identifying the threat? That's perfect. That's what you do. You want them to pass it to these other guys. So just by Beansy being there, that's a deterrent. When they come to him anyways, we'll see how well he does. A little bit of pressure. Caspian does a perfect pass back to Grayson. See, then you try to jump in and touch that ball. That's going to be a goal for sure. Caleb did the matador. Just move right out of the way. But Dempsey, up by where the ref is now, when you intercepted him, you took a bad angle and you tried to poke the ball away. And that's not the play. You got to just get in front of him. Beans, I thought you did a good job keeping him from turning, and that's the idea. Keep practicing that. Keep practicing. Everyone has a strong foot and a weak foot. Generally, most people's strong feet are the right foot, and just keep them from turning right. But be prepared as soon as they turn left. You can't let them just go straight because then they'll just be using the right foot again. All right. This would be a great time to do my sweet plays. Guys just look so confused. See, I go inside more. Outside isn't great. That's a pretty darn good cross. Beansy was probably offside. And I'm not too mad at her. She did a little rinky kick. I think she was so surprised that she was that open. But that was a really impressive cross. And that's what you should be doing a lot more of. I think what you need to do is try to do that your first time when you're running down, rather than stopping, turning around, stopping, turning around, stopping. Okay, you got to take a better angle. Again, now you got him going left. Now he's back on his right foot because you let him go straight. That's going to be a goal. I mean, I don't know what to say about the goaltending there. The defense is just as bad. I mean, if they weren't there, it would have ended the same. But again, you did a good job keeping his back to you, but you got to move with him when he starts to turn. You can't let him just turn completely around. Keep it on his left foot. And the only way you're going to do that is going to be more physical. Look at this. Just no semblance of a play at all. And I thought this was very good of Beansy to lead you there. That was a great pass. But then you keep going outside. Just, again, things are more difficult there. If you watch any of the U10 games, all Coach Tom says is keep him outside, keep him outside. There's a reason he says that. Because you're not a threat when you're that far outside. Now, Beans, you're doing a great job marking Grayson. I was very impressed this game with you. So look, they pass it to him. You got the steal. And then ended up being a turnover. He needed to hit you then. See, again, you rush too many of those shots, and it was just a very soft kick. There's really not a point to that. And kudos to Christian for recognizing the play. He didn't need to loop that. Good. Go outside, then back in. Caspian just kind of gets in the way there. If somebody with the ball is dribbling towards you, you have to move somewhere else. You can't just stand there. But I doubt he watches this video, so. Now you have baby brother here. You're going to save the day. Now again, Beans, you're at the corner, and that's good. But that was unconventional, just kicking it to the other team. Felix, you got to move upfield. Like, Dempsey's not going to get stopped by these two. And now you're behind him, and you're not an option. And see how Felix puts his body in Grayson there, and he kind of missed. But doing stuff like that slows people down. It stops. No. Just calm down. It stops their momentum, and it allows you time to recover. As rough as your team is, the bulk of these Buckingham people aren't necessarily better. Now again, it's the same thing in his U10 games. I tell Felix, wait till Keegan comes to you. Good job, Felix. And this is going to be good by Dempsey. Well, a little soft again. So Beansy, when the ball gets upfield, you got to attack there. But for you, the threat is Grayson. So if he's back guarding Beansy, you don't need to force a pass to her. What's she talking to you about there?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't imagine you would. All right. So again, you got two threats here. You know, it's always an option. One thing I think, you see the little arc? Yeah, that side. Because if you're using your...
Did you put it there?
Yeah, I mean, listen to her. So this is good. Felix doing all kinds of crazy acrobats. But when you have two options, so when you have Felix and Beans there, they need to go to a different spot. I'm not too mad at it. I mean, if you look at it, you had a bad angle there. And he was covering most of it. So yeah, Beansy, I mean, you got to start working on your left. The whole stop it with your right, and then back up a couple steps to do it again with your right just doesn't work. Your attacking has definitely improved. But again, you're doing the same thing Dempsey does, where he just dribbles into the corner. He's doing that because his brain is not thinking that that's not a good idea. I'm sure you know it's not a good idea, but you only use your one foot, so it's limiting you in the same way. Again, Felix, we don't need a double team on Grayson. Beansy, is a deterrent enough? All right, this guy's being a little over-aggressive. Yeah, that's what you got to. You got to hesitate and come back. The play isn't there. Again, that's the third time you've done it. See how Felix put a body into Grayson?
I meant to pass it.
It doesn't matter what you meant to pass. Grayson's standing right in front of him. Okay, that doesn't make it more acceptable.
I was actually handling me.
They seem to be fine with it. Sydney does pretty good here. I'm getting more impressed with Bryn as the weeks go on, because I don't think she's played before, and I think she's the oldest. I think she's the oldest on the team. She's a 6th grader. Again, Beans, you might be offside. Do you see how you can't stand there? You've got to be in front of Grayson. Again, it's too far. It's too far. I'm looking forward to the game this Saturday because I think they'll have more of their better players there, providing everyone's not in quarantine. But I feel like home games, more people show up than away games. So one thing I like to do when they're clearly doing a big kick is somebody to stand like 10 feet in front of them, not because you're going to trap the ball and stop it, but it makes them think of you. They've got to account for you. It changes the trajectory, and it ends up being a bad kick. When everyone's off screen, it's not helpful. Truthfully, Bean should be up, but she would be scared to death of this kick. I think she makes the steal here. Good, and that's good. You realize you were kind of trapped, and she moved. This is the receive pass offer, but it helps if the person ever passes it back to you. And just very lucky that you have a little brother. Very lucky he exists, because that's going to be a goal. With this team, when you let somebody buy him, count on it being a goal. Now, this is pretty good, too. Grayson doesn't, I get. But he wasn't totally paying attention, and that's kind of the danger. That's an awesome play.
And he should score, I think.
He doesn't. And then Felix just gives up on the rebound. But that was an awesome through ball because you played it perfectly in front of him, but not too far where the goalie gets it, not too short where they jab it away, where he could run onto that. And I think that's your second just perfect pass of this game. No, Felix, you got to first touch that better. You can see that guy coming, and then you got to get back. This is going to be, Just, if they get a shot on Caleb, it's going to be a goal. If they get to the defense, and you guys aren't there, it's going to be a goal. So, you've got to track back, Dempsey. I didn't see you on that play. Felix did something wrong. I don't really remember. I think he went for the body contact. Big kids absorb that a little bit better. But you guys got to realize, the two boys, Beansy, I don't want you tracking back necessarily. Just whatever coach has you, if he has you playing up, you got to stay up. But you can't count on these guys making a stop. It just won't happen. Felix, you got to be up. You're the offense, okay? I mean, even though coach has you back to stem the bleeding there, it's 2 versus 7. Well, 8 if you count the goalie.
That was a lucky goal, I think.
I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily a lucky goal. I mean, it was perfectly placed. It was above his head, but still under the crossbar. It was a well-placed shot. You're dangerous there. Now, you don't need to be backing up this far. Again, think counterattack, okay? So, again, Grayson has it, and let's see what Beansy pressures him, and he gives up the ball, and that's what we want. We want the ball out of Grayson's hand. I don't know what's going on. And you see how he pushes you off the ball there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be prepared for that and be tougher and dig in. Felix, he's, younger than you, and he doesn't get pushed off by Grayson that as much. All right, you get him to commit, and then you play it. Preferably not to Brian, but Beansy did a great job crossing it back to you. She realizes that in the open field, she's not going to beat 4 guys for a goal. And again, you got to get back. Felix is there. He'll be fine. Well, maybe he won't be fine. He's got to get out. That's... Truthfully, one of you needs to be able to committing to going back always, and then the second one needs to go back most of the way. Now, you didn't need to rush that. I mean, truthfully, the play would have probably been up to Bryn. Where's she at? Or Brian. They're not going to bungle it, and then they look for Dempsey. With just minimal pressure, the only person that had pressure on him was Dempsey. That if you would have passed it to Brian, Brian would have stopped it. And then the guy would have shifted over to Brian, and then Brian would have found Dempsey. But, it's putting trust in Brian. I don't know what kind of throw they think Grayson can do here. But this is just going to go straight to Felix. And that's knowing your person's range. There's no reason to be that far away. And well, no, that's fine. I was going to say bring it up a little bit. You got to come inside, man. I mean, we talk about this every week. Don't go outside every time. And you go outside every time, and it just doesn't work. So all the things you need to work on, I mean, they're mental. You just need to stop making the same mistakes. Now, Felix, you got to come up. I mean, I don't know who you think he's going to pass it to here. It's Beans versus 7 or 8 of them. And give him a different look than Beans. Somebody show short, and then somebody cut up field. Now, in that situation, Beans, you be the decoy, okay? Come up, come up, come up. Make a lot of noise. Kind of wave your arms. Be demonstrative. And then Felix will be allowed to sneak behind. But you were just kind of standing there.
But then Dempsey will fall for it. Dempsey will pass it to me.
Well, he probably won't.
Probably.
All right, against their ball, be at the corner. It's coming straight. Dempsey's going to get it. Yeah. And then... Again, this is just not a good game for you getting...
I have a ton of stress like that.
Good. I mean, if you had a ton of them like that, why did you keep doing it? I mean, that's madness. If something isn't working, you got to try something else.
Mama!
All right, so this is, I think, where I started kind of barking at you guys. That if they're all just crowding the goal, and the reason they're doing this is since April, I think you scored from 3 corner kicks on them. So they know that, well, we got to guard the corner there, as a scoring play. But Beansy, you're standing in the perfect spot. That's what we need. If the ball trickles through, we want you there. But Felix, I want you to show short. I think I start yelling it at some point. Because you're doing, well, you're occupying the same space that Beans is. And, if we had another threat there, you could do that. But probably one person show short, because look at all the space Dempsey has. And the play is to tap it back to Dempsey and let him come in. Because he's very creative, but it's almost like, yeah. And that works. Preferably, you kick it away from the goalie, at least to the side a little bit, either side. And I thought that was good by Bryn. I won't say it's like an accident that she's kicking it to you, because she does seem to be finding you each time. But she seems to be one of the players you can count on, because she seemed to mess up Mark a little bit. She messes up Grayson a little bit. Caspian has designs on this corner kick. Was he saying something to you when he ran over? All right, so yeah, here I'm barking at Felix. Go, go, go. And did you see that? You got to take what they give you. So in that situation, there's all that space up in this area. Don't look for like a cross in the box. Just run to Dempsey. He gives it to you, or you tap it back. That's the short play. Showing short. Again, Beans, I don't want to say it every time. Just get on the corner and be ready to charge in. Dempsey, you should probably direct Caspian to the other corner. Because 1, you need people upfield, but 2, it's going to pressure them into a mistake. I mean, that was a strong kick, so it's different than what you've been doing, but you probably should have kept attacking. Grayson was squared up to you, so he was like facing you. And you were running full speed. All it is, you keep going full speed. The moment he lifts his foot to step forward, then you tap it to one side or the other. We got to work more on attacking opponent when they're squared up. And Beans, this is great. You're pressuring Grayson, he's running, and then Dempsey gets to be kind of a free safety there and make that, interception. And again, Beansy, you should see Dempsey and Felix are there. It's enough. Just go upfield. I must have probably yelled that to you. And that's good. You want to come to the ball always. It seems like it's coming to you. Perfect give and go. A little bit slow, Felix. But that's the one time I saw you do it this game. Really love these moves here you do on these plays. And I want to see more of that. You do a lot of one move to create space. You create, 2-3 feet of space. That's enough to get a shot off. So you can see you did a drag back, and then it threw him off, and then he overcorrected and started really trying to make up that ground. And then you did an L pull, and you had all kinds of space to come up and take that shot, and it was perfect. It just, not enough leg on the ball. So Beansy, I kind of yelled at you to come up there because, again, they have it. They need you up there stretching the defense. Now you're offside, so be weary of that. And you did the L pull again, another shot, and this time it went in.
That wasn't Beansy, that was Caspian.
Dempsey, you're wrong. I can't rewind in a recording. Beansy, we're at Red Sox next time. Again, see the plays to him, Beansy charging. And look at this. The pressure on him, he gets rid of the ball. Hits Caspian in the gut. And that was good for you to time that. You didn't run with Grayson as much. You stayed back because it seems like you anticipated the pass was going to be a little late. Now, in that situation where you've got a run like that, you want to keep your body in front of Grayson. There's no way for him to catch up from behind you without fouling you, But when you start to veer to the side, it allows him to pull up alongside you. So you want to kind of listen to where he is and even slow down and turn and look. And if he tries to run to the left, move to the left. He tries to run to the right, move to the right. Shield him with your body. The closer you get, if you do get a call, it's a much easier penalty, or a free kick at least. Now, Felix, you didn't need to rush that there. Like, you had split the defense. Just dribble it up. You guys are too good at dribbling to not use that. And Dempsey, I loved how when you saw Felix went down, you came back on defense. You're good so long as Felix is there. Felix takes out Caspian, worthy of a red card. Another shot going to the outside, far away, not going to work. Let's see how baby brother does it. He cuts to the middle. Imagine that working. See, there's no reason for you to kick it outside. It's kind of like if you had a fast break in basketball. Do you pull up from 3-point and take that shot, or are you going for the layup? Yeah, you're going for the layup. So when you keep drifting out to the outside, unless you're going to cross it, which you don't do, it's a low percentage play. Now, Dempsey, I want you to pay attention to how Felix uses his body. That was a terrible idea. But he gets physical with these much bigger kids. That's good, yeah. Every shot on goal we've had has been a goal. There's been just no saves. But watch Felix when he plays defensively, and you should be as strong as Felix. If somebody's going to get by him, he puts his rump in them. He bumps them. He does stuff like that. That slows them down. It creates space. And over the course of the game, it demoralizes the other team to constantly be getting bumped. Some people aren't wired like that. So again, Sydney's running, so that's good. Should reward her with a nice cross.
That was the first time.
Yeah, that was a very, that was a very good pass by you. I don't think it was as good as the first two, because you see how it took a little long to get to Felix, but you put perfect weight on it. It wasn't like bouncing and flying by him. But he did a very difficult attempt to try to one-time it, to hit it right first time, and he didn't get a clean kick on it. Now look at this pressure by Beans. This is perfect. See, Grayson feels this pressure. Their best player is being harassed by an 8-year-old girl. And, like, that is one of the things. If you're going to play striker, if you're going to play forward, you have to be like that. Now, defense, you can't be like that. It's one move and they're by you. But when you're an offensive player, you're aggressive like that, good things tend to happen. Now, again, that was good. Do you notice the difference there? You attack the middle, and it's so much easier to score. That goalie has to stay put in the middle. They can't hedge to the side and block off the majority of the goal. But that play, this doesn't show up in like a box score or anything, but who made that play happen? Beansy. Beansy pressured the kickoff, got Grayson to go backwards, track backwards, then out of bounds, and then from that, they turned it over right to Dempsey, and he got a goal. But you see how Felix bumps him? See, he gets another bump? I think he gets called for a foul here. And, that's fine. I think it's going to be against Buckingham. Yeah. Truthfully, I thought Felix was being more physical than they were. Now, this is the play it short. You see how nobody stays back to guard you? I get you're trying to rush the pass, but it's easily intercepted. Just have Caspian tap it to you, or Lucy tap it to you. Because if you have acres of space, dribble into that space. Don't let them decide what you're going to do. Okay, now, Beans, you got to go. Go as fast as you can to the goal. See how you're jogging and you're enjoying the view and watching? That happens. So, and he gets a little bump. Do you see that? Even Bryn got a bump there. Felix is an equal opportunity bumper. I thought this was awesome, navigating by you. You give it up to them, and that's perfect. You got to engage the defense. Dempsey goes outside. No doubt is going to mess this up. Yep. Felix, you did that play perfectly. From making the play defensively, splitting their two forwards, dribbling it past midfield, doing a move to get by them, getting that central defender to commit, and then laying it off perfectly to your striker. You couldn't have done better on that. And you see how you're all in a line? Doc, Dempsey, Beans, Brian. You got to spread out. It's maddening to watch. I would have probably tried to split those two. You see that? Felix timed that perfectly. The whole time he's staying just in front of Grayson. He knows Grayson has those long dribbles, and he pokes it away. And you see how the big kid gets a bump there. Felix just doesn't steal the ball. He steals it with a bump. That's actually pretty funny. Move in there. Let's see. He's going to have nightmares about beans. Right as he's dribbling, she's all in his grill. Dempsey goes outside. The play's to Beansy. Do you see this? Do you see this? Those people cutting? That's keeping you from being a great player. That you don't pass the ball. And it's not when you're like standing there 50 feet away from the nearest person passing it. It's when everyone's watching you and you had beans streaking down the middle here, and you just need to flick it up to them. We'll go over some plays to work on that. You have all the skill to do that. Yeah, Beans, come on. Don't be scared. See this? You got to flick it now. Not tap it back and wait for the perfect time. I mean, it's taking way too long. He actually timed that pass perfectly. And that was bad, Felix. When you're the last line of defense, you don't need to be gambling at midfield. Now we've got Christian in goal, and he does move faster. And truthfully, there was nothing he could have done on that one. When somebody's coming dead middle,
I probably just want to came out and...
Yeah, I mean, he could have. I would have been coming out right away. But I don't know. It's once Felix gambled and missed, Christian's got to be coming straight up. But I don't know if he's ever played goalie before, so I'm not mad at him for that. You know, that's more of a seasoned veteran. But Felix, you got to know when you're the guy back, you can't gamble. Felix is telling Dempsey to play. Dempsey's saying, I'm confused. Beansy says, I'll just tap it back to you. Again, Beans, you want to stay on? So you're offside now? All right, so Beansy, this is good. I like how you showed short there, and then you go long. Needed a little more lift on that pass. And that's okay. They can have a throw in there. That's perfectly fine, especially if Grayson's the one doing it, because if he's doing the throw in here, he's not in the field to stop you. So, again, the smart play for them is up the line, because the worst thing that can happen is it just goes out of bounds, and then you guys get a throw in. They don't want to throw it midfield. All three of you are kind of in the same line. Felix is over a little bit, but Felix probably needs to take a couple steps to his left. Okay, Beans is over there, so that's fine. And he did the right play, and unfortunately nobody was over there. Yeah, that's bad. Good angle, Dempsey. You should be able to get there. Yeah, perfect. Had you taken any less of an angle there, I mean, that's going to be a goal for them. Don't give up. See how you're giving up and you're letting him turn? Beansy's already shown if you pressure him, he'll make a bad pass. And since nobody's passed it to Beansy in several quarters, she's going to take it into her own hands.
Probably doing it closer.
Maybe. She's got enough leg to make that. I think she was, it's the more experience you have doing this, like a complete fast break one-on-one with a goal, the better that's going to be. So I don't think she's had experience doing that. Feels you got to blast up the field. Beansy, don't walk towards them. See, you're kind of standing still. And do you see that? As soon as he got it away from Felix, Felix kind of bumped him with his butt. Pushed him off just a little bit, went and made the steal. And that's fine. Felix, you got to time Grayson on that. You can, when you're doing those little small messy touches and you see him getting ready, know that he's going to commit, and that's when you kind of jab it back towards the middle of the field in his direction, but backwards. He'll run right by you, and then you'll have a lefty shot. Now, you need to be kicking this with your left foot. All right? That was a brilliant steal by Caspian. Grayson was getting ahead of steam, getting ready to take off, and he poked in and got it. The play's to Felix, then Felix tap it back to Dempsey. Yeah. You should have created a little bit more space there. Like, Felix, you should have backed up field, and then Dempsey could have hit you. All right, Beans is open. Grayson's with you. There you go. But you see that? She's the only one being aggressive, so she gets that ball again. She'll get by these people. Oof. Ball's still alive. But you see, you always want to run. If you got somebody going at field, you run with them. Don't assume that they're going to score. Now, Felix, do you notice how wherever you park it, that's the extent of where they go? You park it at midfield, and then they don't get past midfield. That's the sign of a great defender. That was incredible to catch that out of the air like that with that great touch. See, it took too long. The shot, as soon as you're in line, like in the middle of the field, the shot has to come right there. You did one extra touch, and then I think coach is saying, find your range, which is his way of saying, take the shot. Or at least get into the range of shooting. But you kind of panicked a bit, and then you stopped, and you went backward, and that gave him enough time to react. All right, we need somebody up front. You don't need all three guarding the same clump. And again, that's a pat. I mean, you got to avoid him. There's certain players on teams. They're too fast and aggressive. Those are the ones you got to avoid with the pass. Don't settle for a pass. If you're unsatisfied, tell them to move. Remember, we've got check and away. Who remembers what check means? Great job, Beansy.
Go to the ball.
Yeah, go to the ball. Away means go away. Yeah. So you can say check and away, to one person. Felix, check and away. That means come to the ball and then sprint and go somewhere else. This is great, Beansy. You see that. Grayson's staying with Dempsey. He sees Dempsey as the threat, and he would be wrong. It's the monk. And again, there you probably could have came up a little closer. But again, I'm not mad at it. You created that play yourself. You ran back. Beautiful trap. You got to go inside, man. See, he just pushed you off the ball. And I think that was a pretty weak foul call. Her view is a lot better than mine, so maybe she saw it differently. But it did look like he extended the arm. You look like you fell from frustration. Now, you should be kicking this with your left foot. You're on the right side of the field, you kick it with your left. By kicking it with your right, it's going to go more to the left. It's going to curve to the left, and you'll just miss the whole thing. Now, Felix, your idea here is to kind of, if it bounces off somebody, to run in and kick it in. Being that far away isn't going to help. See? If you would have kicked that with the left and struck it the same, it would have curved and at least been on target. But it just wasn't a good kicking day for you. Those things happen. I was talking to, I think it was Felix last night. The greats have stuff like that. Kobe's worst shooting day of his career came in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So they have 16 teams make the playoffs. And then those teams battle, and the best 8 teams go to the next round. And that's perfect. Do you see how you cut inside? Now, granted, you had Grayson to the outside, but by cutting inside, it's a much easier shot to take. And once you got to this 18-yard box, so that second box from in front of the goal, your power seems to be a lot better there. So anyways, back to Kobe. So the 16 teams play, and then the 8 teams move on to the next round. And then those 8 teams play, and the next 4 teams move on to the next round. And then the 2 teams have a conference championship to see who wins the conference. And they move on to the NBA Finals. And then they play 7 games, and the first team to win 4 games wins the NBA championship. And in that, I love that move. You and Felix are getting good at that. A little heavy on the touch. But in the NBA Finals, it's the first team to win 4 games. So the Lakers had won 3 and Boston had won 3. So in this final game, whoever wins the NBA championship. And that's when Kobe had his worst shooting game of his entire career. He never shot worse than that. And they still won. And it wasn't because his teammates did anything great. It's because the guy that Kobe was guarding, who's a Hall of Famer, had an even worse shooting night of his career. I love that there.
What's a Hall of Famer?
When somebody is regarded as the best players of all time. Usually I think 2 guys will make it every year. So that was great. You threw it into Felix. He tapped it back to you. You found your sister who's wide open. And, she had a high-quality opportunity there. You see how Felix cuts to the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. And then Beansy's being aggressive here.
She should have hesitated there. That may have been...
No, she didn't hesitate. Look, she's way up there making things happen. You're back there making a sandwich. So look, Felix just charged in. And look what you're doing. You're doing like a soft kick. Look at this nonsense. From super far away. Come in just like they did. Yeah, there you go. Give it to Beansy. Give it back to him. That would have been perfect. That was that play that Coach wanted you to do when you come up a line and then you turn and pass it to your teammate and the teammate flicks it back onto you. If she would have pulled that off. So anyways, the guy Kobe was guarding had a worse shooting night than him. He had 15 shots and only made 3. And he was a Hall of Famer. So one of the best of all time. And he was considered the best shooter of all time until Steph Curry happened. So one guy needs to come short. Felix show short, and you need to quick tap this back to Dempsey and not flick it upfield. So this is a disaster. And Kobe got 15 rebounds, and I think he ended up scoring a lot from the foul line. Again, bad angle. Again, don't go where Grayson is, go where he's going. It's going to be a goal. And truthfully, I thought Brian did a pretty decent job of poking it away. I don't think he should have been jabbing it, but he doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with Grayson anyways. So back to the Kobe thing, finishing up there. There's different ways to contribute. Like you had a bad shooting game this game, but your passes were pretty darn good. I've never seen them better. Helped having Felix and Beans though.